In today's world of wideouts, it pays good to play good. Few in the game occupying the same stratosphere as Vikings wideout Justin Jefferson. And as of Monday, the same can be said for the financials. JJ and the Vikes coming to terms on a 4-year, $140 million extension, making him the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. Jefferson taking to his socials shortly after the market-busting move.
I always dreamt of this moment, and to now share it with all of y'all. A dream that we all had. It's a blessing. Kevin O'Connell, Quezzy, the Wilfs, I appreciate y'all for giving me this opportunity. Ben, my agent, thank you for getting this deal done. Last but not least, thank you to the fans. Y'all set the tone, y'all set the mood, y'all set the energy, and I'm definitely excited to set that energy for 5 more years. Thank you, all of the ones that supported me throughout the whole way. This is the start of it, but we ain't done yet. Just wait. Yeah.
Job security. Security for generations to come as you take a look at the highest paid non-quarterbacks by AAV. Jefferson's deal going to kick in 25. You take a look there at Nick Bosa, who got his deal done last summer. Total guaranteed figure for Bosa still pacing the pack a bit north, about $12 million north of Jefferson's guarantees. The top 5 numbers on this list inked over the last 12 months. And if there's a lesson to be learned, if you can't throw it, catch it, or rush the guy that can. All right, let's dive into the latest out of the NFL with CBS NFL analyst John Breech. Breech, we're going to get to the numbers because they're eye-popping. Maybe we've gotten a bit desensitized to it to this point, but it is a team game, so I want to start there. What does this deal for JJ tell you about the way that Minnesota is going to try and retool this roster over the next couple years?
Well, I think when you look at what they've done this offseason, they are building a roster that's going to be able to compete for the next 4 or 5 years, as long as Justin Jefferson is under contract, as long as J.J. McCarthy ends up being the answer at quarterback. But when you look at the weapons they've put around J.J. McCarthy, whether it's T.J. Hawkinson at tight end, we saw them go out and get Aaron Jones at running back. We saw them draft Jordan Addison last year, and now you keep Justin Jefferson. This offense is absolutely loaded, and as long as J.J. McCarthy comes along and just plays a slightly above average football in his rookie year, this offense is going to be dangerous. So this is a team that is built to compete this year and built to compete for the foreseeable future.
And history tells us that there's about a 25% chance that McCarthy sees a second contract here. We're talking about JJ's second contract, and well-earned at that. We knew Jefferson Breech was going to reset the market here, but I almost hesitate to call it that or say that because this deal is so far north of everybody else in that position group. Does it really move the market for anyone not named CeeDee Lamb in your eyes, or is this more of a one-off?
Yeah, you know, it's funny because when we saw Patrick Mahomes get that 10-year contract, that $45 million lasted. That was the market for a while because just you're not Patrick Mahomes. You're not winning the Super Bowls. You're not getting there. You're not getting that contract. And with Justin Jefferson, it feels a little bit more interesting because you have CeeDee Lamb hanging right there, and I'm sure he's going to go into Jerry Jones's office tomorrow and say, hey, why don't you add $8 to Justin Jefferson's contract? I'll sign that. Give me that. I'm in. And then you also have Jamar Chase out there. So I think those two are probably the only receivers, maybe Tyreek Hill, in the near future who might match Justin Jefferson's numbers or go slightly higher. But outside of those 3 guys, I have a hard time seeing any receiver top where the market's at. So really over maybe the next 2 or 3 years, it'll be Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb, and that's it. So we'll see, but it seems like we're getting to the top of the receiver market quickly.
It certainly does. Taking a look at some numbers, surging market at that, and the numbers outside the numbers, if you will. The average annual, nice for headlines, but we're going to take a look at some guarantees, and the guarantee from Justin Jefferson through 4 years, catches, yards, and a chance to score with that now J.J. McCarthy-led offense. All right, here's a look at some wideouts looking for new money. We mentioned CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, notables that are looking for that type of financial security. Over the last 4 seasons, only CeeDee Lamb's numbers are in that same neighborhood as Jefferson. The money now may be expected to reside in that subdivision as well. A pair of Breech's Bengals, as you see right there, looking for that long-term vote of confidence. Jamar Chase entering year 4 of his rookie deal. T. Higgins scheduled to play on a nearly $22 million franchise tag. And Brandon Ayuk, well, still a Niner. CBS Sports Cowboys insider Garrett Podell offering his thoughts on CeeDee's looming deal.
Dallas Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones told us a couple days before the 2024 NFL draft back in April that he wanted to see some more leaves fall. He wanted to see a little bit more action before jumping ahead and shelling out big money deals for quarterback Dak Prescott and wide receiver CeeDee Lamb. Well, now that the Minnesota Vikings have done just that with 2022 NFL Offensive Player of the Year Justin Jefferson, he can now feel pretty comfortable knowing exactly what the price range is for Lamb, his wide receiver, who was a first-team All-Pro for the first time and led the NFL in catches. His 2023 also included breaking Michael Irvin's single-season records for both catches and receiving yards in 2023. And so now Jerry should be comfortable making this deal because he said CeeDee's one of the best players in the NFL, and what he does complements the quarterback and everyone else out on the offense. Expect these two to return to the negotiating table and get this deal done sooner rather than later.
All right, back in the mix with John Breech after that report from Dallas. Notably quiet offseason. Breech here for those all-in Cowboys. I think CeeDee Lamb, his negotiating power right now and all the things that he covered up in an offense that really relied on him a year ago. But what's the proper approach here? Because you got CeeDee, who is sitting there knowing what he's due to make now. Micah not far behind. Dak in line for a bank breaker as well. How do you go about it with those three big names?
Look, Joe, you're asking me to read Jerry Jones's mind. No one can read Jerry Jones's mind. Jerry Jones can't even read his own mind. And it's been bizarre what's going on in Dallas because what you had at the beginning of the offseason obviously was Jerry Jones with his all-in comment. Then you have the Cowboys saying, well, we can't go all-in because we're trying to get extensions done with Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. And now here we are in June. You don't have a single extension done. You don't have a ton of cap room. And so you kind of have to figure out where the cards should fall. You have to, what are your priorities here? Is your priority to get Dak Prescott under contract? He's going in the final year of his deal, as is CeeDee Lamb. Michael Parsons is not. So you have a little bit of a window with him, and I think that's how the Cowboys will play it. They love to procrastinate with these contracts. The prices go up, Jerry. You got to get these guys under contract as soon as possible if you want to keep them. We just saw the price for CeeDee Lamb go up today. I think that might be enough to scare Jerry Jones into getting CeeDee Lamb a contract sometime before training camp starts. But it really just, you don't know what's going on in Dallas. I won't be surprised if CeeDee Lamb does get a contract though before the start of training camp and in the neighborhood of what Justin Jefferson just got.
It's an interesting paradox across positions here because wideouts, as we've seen, are getting paid for what they've done. QBs oftentimes paid for what they're believed to be. Trevor Lawrence hasn't shown Jags fans what they'd hope to see just yet, but he's believed to be the long-term answer still. You got him for $11 million this season, a team option the next. What's the rush to get that deal done?
Yeah, it's interesting because if you're Jacksonville, you're kind of at a crossroads. And not that Trevor Lawrence is not your quarterback of the future. It's more of how much do you pay him? Because you're looking at his track record. Do you really want to make him the highest paid quarterback in NFL history and let him top that Joe Burrow number and give him $56 million a year? We saw Jared Goff just get that $53 million per year. And so I think this is probably what's going on in Miami. The whole state of Florida, Tua Tagovailoa, too, can't get his extension done. And it's because it seems like the front offices there are just hesitant to commit that kind of money when they're not quite sure what to make of their starting quarterback yet. I mean, look, Trevor Lawrence had a throwaway season his rookie year because he got stuck with Urban Meyer. You can't really blame that on him. He's looked pretty good with Doug Peterson. And look, I know Trevor Lawrence wants to get a deal done before training camp, but if I'm Jacksonville, I'm almost saying, you know what, let's see if we can stretch this out one more season and give him that extension next year. That's probably not going to happen, but I feel a lot more comfortable with one more season under his belt where I can see him in action before committing $55 million a year to him.
It seems that inflation has touched all aspects of our lives, even our beloved football, John Breech. We appreciate you stopping by as always. Talking some ball with John Breech. Got me ready for football. We are inside 100 days till kick, and it cannot come soon enough for some of these GMs, owners. Well worth the wait. Decisions to be made, and one big one here in Jacksonville. Could a deal get done in the not-too-distant future for Trevor Lawrence? He believes it'll take care of itself. Coming up, just show up. Lamar Jackson absent and reason unknown. What we do know, it'll cost him a pretty penny. Details next on HQ.